Hello, I'm Dr. Mangia and welcome to Punk Science TV. This time we'll be talking about whether or not black holes belch on their food, whether they burp. So, where do we get started on this one? Mainstream scientists, a lot of mainstream scientists still actually think of black holes in this way, that black holes are actually gobbling food, they're tearing apart local objects, and anything that gets too close gets drawn in down the plug hole, as it were, to the point of no return. But even in this image, you can see that there are two jets either side of this sort of so-called accretion disk. So, that's a sort of classical image of black holes and the one that most scientists still believe. But the trouble is, when we have evidence, that is, when we actually find things out in the universe that contradict that, it causes this bit of a problem. So the mainstream scientists actually think that black holes are gobbling things essentially, and so black holes gobble stars. And the trouble is, when they actually see radiation coming out of those black holes, they then start to talk about black holes burping. I mean, this one is quite ridiculous. We see objects feast, burp, nap, and then go through that cycle again. Oh my goodness. And even the Milky Way burping. And it's pretty tragic, really. So we're throwing these characteristics of human characteristics onto these objects, really, that are supposed to be non conscious objects. So, but we reflect ourselves into them, and even to the point where we even do this with stars as well. So there's this little clip I've got here where we see that brown dwarfs are surprising. You can see that surprisingly giving out X-ray flares, because they don't expect something that has got a bit older to be so active. Again, we are projecting ourselves onto the cosmos, whether that fits the data or not. So we have our fixed ideas of how something will work, and so we are providing this explanation from that idea, even though it might not be exactly what's going on. So, what is actually happening? I find it amazing that scientists can actually even discuss a black hole burping or a black hole belching or napping, feasting, gobbling. It's a black hole, it's not a person. But I think part of why people do this is because they don't understand it. So, because the black hole is behaving in a way that they're not expecting, giving out material instead of just taking it in, which is their paradigm. So they have to put in this kind of like a burping idea, because it's going the opposite way, the radiation goes the opposite way to how they're expecting. Instead of just going, well, you know what, maybe we got this wrong. Maybe black holes actually create things and create things in jets and create them in a way that is fluctuating. Then they have to just put their they have to add things onto their ideas, like Ptolemy's epicycles and epicycles, which is the original philosopher and scientist who actually tried to actually describe the orbits of the planets. And because the orbits of the planets aren't completely circular, he started to add epicycles, like little circles and little circles, in order to describe them, because he couldn't let go of his original idea. And that's what's going on with science today, and why they talk about black holes burping. But we can explain a lot of this with the black hole principle. If you remember, then you have the light from infinity. coming through the dimensions of the edge of the perception horizon, the speed of light going into antimatter and matter, and it's that breathing process. So sometimes the matter and the antimatter will combine again and form gamma rays or other forms of radiation, and sometimes they'll go into matter and antimatter again. So you have this kind of breathing process, which is why you see these intermittent ejections coming from black holes, and even at every level of the universe as well, hence the X-rays coming from the brown dwarfs. So if we stop projecting these human characteristics and step back for a second to actually look at what's really happening, then maybe we'll start to understand the universe better. Instead of holding on to these ideas that the evidence shows are no longer the full picture. So that's why scientists think that black holes are burping, but all of this can be truly explained in a better way without having to invoke all these strange ideas, just using the black hole principle, which is simple, elegant, and doesn't need to conjure up such strange pictures. So I'm Dr. Mangia, and thank you for watching Punk Science TV. I hope to see you again very soon. Bye bye.